Well, without those components, it wouldn't be really a stampede, and the stampede is part of our Alberta culture.
There are millions of dollars to be made from chuck wagon races and rodeo events, but with 6 horses who recently died, the calls to stop those competitions are getting louder, and that could be bad news for cities and towns that host annual stampedes. The Calgary Stampede would lose some serious cash if they're banned, but smaller stops, like the next city on the rodeo circuit, would take an even bigger hit. In just 2 weeks, a town of 13,000 people east of Calgary will host what it's advertising as authentic stampede action. According to organizers Strathmore and District Agricultural Society, this generates $10 million for the region.
Strathmore Stampede is definitely one of the biggest events. I'm drawing up close to 40,000 people that weekend. It has a big impact on our hotels and businesses, and the campgrounds definitely will be busy and expected to be sold out.
And while music, trade shows, and kids' activities are all part of it, most visitors are here for the second largest rodeo in the province.
And sometimes you look at these cities and you say, I didn't even know this place existed. So sometimes these cities are on the map for, at least in part, the fact that there's a tourist knock-on effect that by having a professional stop here, it brings in some of the fans from outer communities, and that puts them on a map that, say, other local events might not resonate as clearly across Western Canada, Western United States.
The Calgary Stampede estimates the show made $15 million in tax revenue for Alberta, but experts argue there is a greater risk for animals in bigger events than in smaller towns.
You have $1.5 million in prize money, and the next tier events offer a fraction of that. When there's that much money dangling, and when those other events don't offer the same sort of financial reward, you take that extra little risk, and you take that extra little training session, and you push the horse just a little bit harder than you otherwise would.
While the Calgary Stampede has heard the arguments against its competitions, it says it's relying on the rodeo community and those who work with horses before it makes any changes. In Calgary, Crystal Ladaris, City News.